At Dhaka Airport, the immigration counter hummed with the usual chaos. Amidst the rush, a middle-aged woman named Shamima Cotton approached, her simple, sorry and quiet demeanor a stark contrast to the surrounding bustle. She looked like any ordinary traveler, perhaps a mother visiting her children abroad. But to Officer Rafiq, she looked out of place. He glanced at her simple attire, her worn sandals, and a flicker of suspicion crossed his face. How could someone like her afford to travel internationally? His mind was already made up. Passport and visa, he demanded, his tone sharp and dismissive. Shamima handed them over calmly. Rafiq flipped through the pages, his skepticism growing. "Where are you going? And what do you do for a living?" he asked, his voice dripping with condescension. "I'm traveling to a conference in London," Shamima replied softly. "I work at the Ministry of Home Affairs." Rafiq let out a short, mocking laugh. "The Ministry of Home Affairs? You? Look at you. You look more like a housemaid than a government official." His words were like daggers, sharp and cruel. "People like you forge documents all the time, thinking you can fool us. Your visa is probably fake." Shamima's face remained impassive, but a quiet strength shone in her eyes. "Officer, I assure you, my documents are all in order. Judging people by their appearance is not part of your job, is it?" Her calm defiance only angered him more. "Don't you dare lecture me," he snapped. "You're coming with me. We'll see how genuine your papers are after a proper security check." He gestured for two other officers, who led Shamima away to a small, sterile interrogation room. She was made to feel like a criminal, her simple bag emptied onto a cold metal table. The officers made calls to verify her employment. A junior clerk at the ministry confirmed her name was on the employee list, but Rafiq remained unconvinced. "She's just a low-level clerk who got lucky with a visa," he scoffed to his colleagues. "She doesn't look like anyone important." As they continued to hold her, Shamima's phone began to ring. The caller ID read Home Secretary. She answered, speaking calmly. "Sir, I'm being held at the airport." There seems to be a misunderstanding. The officers exchanged amused glances. "Look at her," one whispered. "Saving numbers under fake names to impress us. How pathetic." A few minutes later, the phone rang again. This time, the screen flashed Prime Minister's office. Shamima answered with the same quiet respect. Rafiq snatched the phone. "Who is this?" He barked into the receiver. A stern, authoritative voice replied, "This is the Prime Minister's principal secretary. May I ask why you are detaining a senior government official?" Rafiq, still blinded by his prejudice, dismissed it as a prank. "Stop wasting our time with these fake calls," he sneered, ending the call. He was certain he had caught a fraudster. The situation was escalating. The delay was becoming significant, and Shamima knew she couldn't miss her flight. The senior officers in the room were starting to look uneasy, but Rafiq's arrogance held them in check. Just then, the door burst open. The airport's chief of security, a high-ranking official, rushed in, his face pale and beaded with sweat. "What is going on here? Do you have any idea who you've detained?" he yelled, his voice trembling. He turned to Shamima, bowing his head slightly. "Ma'am, I am so sorry for this unacceptable behavior. Please forgive my staff." Rafiq and the other officers stood frozen, their smug expressions dissolving into confusion. Shamima looked at them, her gaze steady. She reached into her handbag and pulled out a small leather wallet. With deliberate slowness, she opened it and presented her official identification card. The room fell into a deafening silence. There, under her name, was her title, printed in bold letters: Inspector General of Police, the highest-ranking police officer in the entire country. A wave of shock washed over the room. Rafiq's face turned ashen. The Inspector General of Police. This simple, unassuming woman. He felt the floor drop out from under him. The man who had mocked her, insulted her, and treated her like a criminal was now standing before his ultimate superior. He began to tremble, a cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. "Ma'am, I didn't know," he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. He fell to his knees, his head bowed in shame. "Please forgive me. I am so sorry. I judged you by your clothes. I assumed that ordinary-looking people couldn't hold such high positions." Shamima looked down at the trembling officer, not with anger, but with a profound sense of disappointment. She motioned for him to stand. "Get up," she said, her voice firm but not unkind. "Your apology is accepted, but your mindset is the real problem. You wear this uniform, a symbol of authority and public trust. Is this how you use it, to humiliate and belittle those you deem ordinary?" She paused, letting her words sink in. True worth isn't in expensive suits or a powerful title. It is found in our integrity, our work, and our humanity. Your duty is to serve with respect, not to judge with prejudice. She turned to all the officers in the room. "Let this be a lesson to all of you. Never again should you misuse your authority. Never again should you judge a person by their external appearance. The most honest, hardworking, and dedicated people of this nation often live the simplest lives. They are the backbone of our country, and they deserve your utmost respect, not your scorn." Her words echoed in the silent room, a powerful reminder of the responsibility that came with their uniforms. She then collected her belongings and, with a final dignified nod, was escorted to her flight by the mortified chief of security. Months passed. The incident had a profound impact on Officer Rafiq. He was a changed man. He treated every traveler, from wealthy businessmen to humble laborers, with the same level of courtesy and dignity. One day, as he was stamping a passport, he looked up and saw a familiar face. It was Shamima Cotton, the Inspector General, returning from another trip. She was dressed just as simply as before. He tensed, expecting a reprimand, but instead she smiled warmly. "Officer Rafiq," she said, her voice gentle. "I've heard good things about you. It seems you have learned your lesson well. Keep up the good work." Relief and gratitude washed over him. He had not only been forgiven, but also acknowledged. Shamima's simple act of grace had transformed him more than any punishment could have. As she walked away, he remembered her words, which had become his guiding principle. Power is meant to serve, not to humiliate. True honor lies not in luxury, but in our shared humanity. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this story reminds us all to look beyond appearances and treat everyone with kindness and respect. If you were inspired, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others. We'll see you in the next one.